Today I watched Pitch Perfect 3 by Universal Studios and Gold Circle Films, and I had very high hopes for it. After the original and comedic movie that was the original Pitch Perfect, and the forgettable example of reused storytelling that was Pitch Perfect 2, I was ready to finally see a proper sequel to the franchise. Although not as boring as the second one, Pitch Perfect 3 was, disappointingly, the worst one in the series and by far one of the worst movies I have ever seen. If you are watching this, you have either seen the movie or do not care to be spoiled, so let's go into detail why I absolutely despise this film. Reason 1. Abandoned relationships and forced characters. If you have seen the first and second movie, then you are aware of the love interest that the Bellas developed with members from the rival all-male group titled The Troublemakers. Their dislike toward each other seemed to disappear after the first movie, when new members of each group developed close relationships with each other, which continued and progressed into the second movie. And then the third installment rolls around and poof, we get absolutely nothing about the characters that certain members of the Bellas grew so fond of. No update, no cameo, they were just dropped. The only background we get on their sudden disappearance is "oh, we broke up." And it's not like they simply couldn't be implemented in the story. I saw plenty of opportunities for them to be a crucial part. The reason that the studio does this, though, does become obvious. They simply do it so that they could have their characters fall in love with someone new. Because they know that's what the hormonal teenage girls watching it want to see. An attractive man woo their favorite characters all over again. It also opens up new opportunities for the movie to repeat the same old super turned on by that guy jokes. Getting rid of old crucial characters with minimal context is bad and sloppy. But even worse is when they shove a new character into the movie with absolutely no context. The character is the father of Rebel Wilson's character, Fat Amy, played by John Lithgow. This man appears in a scene where the girls go out to a lounge slash casino. Amy sits down to play one of the casino games, only to get interrupted by an older man, who we only saw briefly in the beginning of the film. We quickly learn that the man is in fact her father, and some sort of criminal. They are annoyingly vague about what kind, though. Then all of a sudden he is a vital character in the story? We had no mention of him whatsoever in the previous movies, yet they just throw him in as if we should remember this guy. It leaves the audience confused throughout the rest of the movie as he, for some reason or another, becomes an even more crucial part of a large, meaningless subplot. Reason number 2, a complete lack of originality or freshness. This movie completely, undoubtedly disappointed me in the sense that it felt like I was watching the same thing I've seen 2 different times. The Bellas utterly embarrass themselves somehow and hit a low point in their career. They find an opportunity to get back on their feet. They embarrass themselves some more and make repetitive vagina jokes along the way. The 2 anchormen and their are there to make sexist jokes and provide forced comic relief. One of the characters get an opportunity to move on. They have a bonding moment. She decides to stay, and they beat whatever challenge that comes before them. Did that not sound exactly like every Pitch Perfect movie to date? Sure, this formula was something interesting and original in the first movie, but they've repeated it over and over again because I guess it makes them money. It is also disappointing because the trailers they released really made it seem like something new and exciting, just to end up being the same exact movie. The only thing remotely good about this movie is the good coordination in the dance scenes, and that they all move on from each other properly in the end, which is good because it means that we shouldn't see it in any other Pitch Perfect movies, at least for a while. That happens to be the only reason that I would rate this movie anything over a 1, speaking of which I give it a rating of 3 out of 10, which is me being merciful. That concludes my review, so thanks for watching.